here now.
You are now listening to Mainman Beats. You are now listening to Mainman Beats.
I don't know what's going on with my elevator music today, fight fans, but the show must go on. What's crack-a-lackin'? What's up with you? Salute, 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 and much love. It is the homie, Mainman Mademan in the building. What up, though? What up to everyone? Hey, look here, man. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. Salute, salute, fam. Hey, look here, man. Once again, it's on. Once again, it is a honor and a pleasure, everybody. I repeat, a honor and a pleasure to get up on here and rocking out with the boxing fans and the boxing fam. Salute, much love, much love. Hey, man, Thursday. You know what that means. Our time now, man. What up, fight fans? Salute, much love, much love. Back at y'all for another one, man. It's always good to be here, everyone. Y'all must forgive me. I don't know if y'all can pretty much hear the elevator music or not, but it's not playing on my end, so I'll figure that out after the show. So we gonna roll through the quiet today, man. It's all good for me, though. It's all good, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So, you know, we at the top of the summer, everybody. Summer, you know, this is the time to get started, get ready to find your beach, as I always say. So hopefully everybody out there finding a beach, planning some good R&R, planning some downtime, the whole 9 yards. You know what I'm saying? Going to get away for a little bit, planning that little getaway, that staycation. Even if you can't go nowhere, you planning that them couple days where you ain't gonna let nobody bother you, man. You know what I mean? So hopefully everybody getting up on their R&R, getting some rest and relaxation if you can afford to do so. You know what I'm saying? If you can't afford to do so, at the very least, I hope that you can at least find a day or a few hours, whatever it may take, sometime throughout of this summer to get you some downtime, man. And I mean that because that's very, very good and very, very important for your health. You know what I'm saying? And that's big facts, everybody. So go out there and get you some R&R. We about to head into the height of the summer, 4th of July, right around the corner. We're going to get the 4th behind us, everybody, and hear me clear. Once we get beyond the 4th, it ain't nothing but Canelo and Crawford going down. Because at that point, from the 4th of July on down, bruh, I ain't going to have nothing else that I'm going to even want to talk about prior at that point, especially when it comes to the sport of boxing outside of Canelo and Terrence Bud Crawford. You know what I'm saying? So I'm waiting for us to go to the ship. I'm still trying to get there, everybody. I'm still trying to get there. Still ain't got all of the details kind of locked down yet. So waiting for all of the final details to play out so we can know exactly where we going to be going and shit. You know what I mean? Nobody don't even know where the hell we be going. Like, I know we going to Vegas. I know it's in Vegas, but we ain't got no venue. And so until we get a venue, you know what I mean, get it all locked in stone, then that's what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my main man, Last of a Dying Breed. And House, what's up, man? What's going down with your Last of a Dying Breed? Much love, bro. Thanks for rocking out with me tonight, man. You already know it, and I definitely appreciate you. Yes, sir. Salute, man. My main man, Muhammad Tola in the building. What's up, Muhammad? Hope all is well, brother. Hope all is well, man. Salute to you, man. Salute to the fam, and salute to the chat. Right back to you, Muhammad Tola, and thanks for rocking out as always, my bruh. Much love to you, man. The rest of the fam is late coming to the party tonight, but the show must go on, fight fans. So let's get this ball rolling. There's not a lot going on this week in the sport of boxing, so we're going to see what we can kind of throw into a net, man, and see what we kind of gather into our little corner over here. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Real chill week this week, man. Real chill week this week. Once again, I talked a little earlier this week about the whole, I did a video this week about the whole Canelo and Crawford situation, details changing, or should I say details getting more locked in stone when it comes to that situation. So that's all good, man. We got all the some interesting tidbits that came out this week about Canelo and Crawford. The first thing I think that's throwing everybody into a little bit of a confusion is the fact that we still gonna have Dana White on this event. Ain't that something, man? We still gonna have Dana White ass. But I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't think that Dana White, who's gonna be promoting this, but I was listening to some recent stuff, man, and it's like somebody was saying, look, Dana ain't gonna be there making no decisions. Dana ain't there. He may be in a promoter role, and I heard Turkey Al Sheik recently come out and big him up and show him all this love and all of this stuff. But bro, he might be in a promoter role, but he ain't making no decisions. I just heard Eddie Hearn talking about it. That's who it was. And Eddie said it perfect. Like, we all were guest promoters at once upon a time with Turkey Al Sheik. I've been one. Frank Warren's been one. Bob Arum's been one. Oscar De La Hoya's been one. And that's what Turkey does. You know what I mean? He don't care who he uses to promote the outfit. He's still going to be the man in charge. He's still going to be the dude making all of the decisions. He's still going to be the one making, this fight or that fight. You know what I'm saying? And the buck stops with Turkey. But whatever promoter he uses is just the promoter he uses. It's just like the same way as the PBC model, right? Like we talked about. With PBC, it's the same thing. They learn from Al Heyman. Al Heyman just uses whoever. You got a license? Hey, good with me, bro. You got a license? Cool, good with me. But we going to dictate to you and tell your ass exactly how this fight going to go down and how it's going to be planned. And I think Turkey do the same things. That's all it is. But when I look at Dana White next to this, and they still doing CLA, and they still doing TKO, right? It's clear as day that all that Turkey is doing with Dana White is using his network. And that's the fact that Dana White got a huge network with the UFC fans. So that's another layer of fans that's outside of boxing that Dana White can probably lure towards this fight. So with Turkey Al Sheik probably seeing Dana is like, you know what? I'm going to put you still there because, homie, I'm going to need you to promote this to your folks. I'm going to need you in your avenues or whatever networks and channels that you got going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to need you to go out there and tell them folks here to show up. Because if you can get to some of the UFC fans on board, the casual fans on board, the diehard fans on board, the Bud Crawford fan base, Canelo Alvarez's fan base, man, we talking about a big effing deal here, shawty. A big effing deal. So when you look at what the reason that he using Dana, it's like, Dana, brother, you got the best megaphone in the game right now. Look, bro, everybody is trying to get next to them UFC pay-per-view rights. We just talked about this last week, right? Freaking Turkey Al Sheik, Dana White, and Amazon go south because they can't all get on the same page for whatever reason. And so Amazon wants access to the TKO packet. They want access to the UFC pay-per-view rights, which TKO owns. So, like, yeah, TKO got a home with Amazon. But also, Turkey is giving them the boxing league, right? The whole little boxing league stuff. So he's in business with TKO as well. And on top of that, they want to be also next to the UFC situation as well over in Riyadh. So it's like, for real, both sides, Amazon and Turkey side, they both kind of like, what's the word I want to say, tolerating Dana White to a certain degree, mainly because, though, access to that UFC market, access to those UFC fans, access to the ability to promote fights in front of the UFC fans. And Lord knows they can use some of that because, to the boxing fans, we've been having to sit back and listen to their crap for as far as I can remember. They promote to us. They want to come over into our sport, right, and do exhibition fights and clown fights and kumite fights or whatever the hell. They want to do that. So listen, at the very least, start promoting some of our shit to them. That's the way it should be going. You know what I'm saying? That's one good way for the sport to somehow, some way kind of grow a little bit. But, don't get it twisted. UFC fans gonna always love UFC first. But we always talk about ways to grow the sport, and that's just like an avenue or a line of a communication that most promoters or organizers has been unable to do. See, everyone's always looking around for a way to get the new casual fan. But if we in combat sports, how come no one is trying to figure out a way to combine the combat sports fan bases? It's not like that. The UFC guys won't like what happens in boxing, and boxing guys won't like what happens in. There's quite a few boxing fans. There's a lot of y'all who be coming through here telling me about the MMA guys, and I have no clue. I'm a boxing man through and through. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have no clue. But y'all know about him. Y'all hip. I'm sure it's the same way on the MMA side. There's a lot of MMA fans that pretty much know a lot about boxing, but MMA may be their first love. So they need more fights perhaps put in front of them or promoted to them. Like, yo, come check this out. What's going on in boxing? And when you got a hybrid guy like Dana White, shit, he might could be the guy that could do some shit like that. This is honestly, something like this has never been done. And see, that's we say that a lot about Turki Al-Sheikh. He do a lot of things that's never been done. And that's one of the things that I always respect about, even though all of these folks got all of this criticism about him and they want to drag his name through the mud and shit like that because we fear what we don't understand. Even though I love the fact that somebody is coming along and whether they fail or succeed, trying new things in the sport of boxing, because boxing need that shit, bro. It need that shit. It need that shit because we keep going down status quo line, bro. Boxing ain't gonna have a pulse pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? And so for somebody to come in the game and say, hold up, bro, we ain't tried this, we ain't tried that. You know, he's even looking for ways to give newer fighters, younger fighters, a bit of spotlight, right? Because word on the curb is with this undercard, they talking some news came out from Turkey that when it comes to the undercard for this fight, he's not looking to go big names. He's not looking to go big time. He's looking to start get with some youngsters that's just starting out and maybe put them on the undercard. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on this. It's going to be on Netflix. Netflix won the rights to this. So it's going to be on Netflix, free for Netflix subscribers. So if it's going to be on Netflix, more eyeballs, he's figuring out, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put some of these youngsters who know nobody don't know, nobody ain't going to be checking for, but I'm going to give them a spotlight. Now, I'm not too cool with that. I don't like that. I honestly don't think that that's a good move in my opinion. And I think that, honestly, we made some suggestions a few weeks ago as far as what should be on the undercard. And I seen Turkey's list, and I don't got the list right in front of me right now, but I seen Turkey's list, and he pretty, let me see if we can find it while we on air. He pretty much put up a list of younger names, you know what I'm saying, of younger fighters. I think Camille Moten's name was on that list, and a few other younger fighters that he basically gave a call out to, and like, hey man, y'all know how to contact me if y'all interested. Let me see if I can find this list real quick, fight fans. Stand by for 1 second, because I do want to put that on the screen. I want to roll through some of the names. If I can find it, bro. These folks be posting so goddamn fast. All right, here we go. We found it. It ain't take that much. It wasn't too hard. All right, so I tell you what. I'm going to get out the way. And I'm going to put this on. Hold on. Before I do that, let me get this post out the way real quick. Let's take a look here, man. Let's take a look here. See what he talking about. So this is what Turki Al-Sheikh is talking about right here, man. So Turki Al-Sheikh has came out and gave out a list of names of people that he will prefer to see on the undercard. This is a post from Turkey. The world will be watching Riyadh season's Canelo Alvarez turns Crawford fight of the century on Netflix. And for that, I want to load the undercard with young, hungry fighters who deserve the chance to perform under the bright lights. These are some of the names that I hope to see fighting in Las Vegas on September the 13th. Led by the ring champion Juntao Nakatani. So he won Nakatani on that thing, huh? If you are interested and you and your teams know how to find me. So the names he got on here is Christian and Billy, Muhammad Alakel, okay, Raido Susumi, Justin Valora, Emiliano Alvarado, Jamar Talley, Abdullah Mason. So at least Abdullah Mason makes the list. I thought I saw Camille Moten on here, but no. And Nishant Dev. Who in the hell, aside from Abdullah Mason, bro, who the hell are these dudes? Nah, man. Nah, Turkey. Nah, man. No. I get it. You know what I'm saying? This card is costing a pretty penny. You know what I mean? Canelo Alvarez, you said you were committing $200 million to this card. That's according to Turki Al-Sheikh. So Lord knows none of these guys that you inviting to this card are taking up a bunch of money. So, I mean, who the hell is hogging up all of the money that you got to go get this level of fighter. You know what I'm saying? See, this is really reminiscent. See, y'all don't want to admit this, of course not, but this is real reminiscent of when Canelo Alvarez's ass was over there with PBC, bro. And when we couldn't get Crawford and Spence for so damn long because Canelo was soaking up all of the money. Canelo needs all of the money in the world, right? And so my guess is by Canelo getting what's reported allegedly $150+ million for this card, and you committed $200 million, so we thinking that Bud is getting 50. I know a lot of folks saying Bud say 10 million on the interview. Yeah, I got 3 words for you, or should I say 3 letters for you? IRS. When y'all hear Bud Crawford say he making only 10 million with a smirk on his face, keep in mind he's making only 10 million, and Akam Barak sitting there telling him, man, I don't believe you, bro. I don't even believe you. I got three letters for you. IRS. So publicly, Bud Crawford is making $10 million. But Turkey says he committed $200 million, and we know Canelo is taking $150, and ain't nobody on this undercard probably even making $1 million, unless maybe Christian and Billy. I mean, maybe Abdullah, if Abdullah can get that belt. You know what I'm saying? But I don't even know, bro. Unless Turkey is overpaying. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, fam. I don't know if I'm cool with this level of card. I think we could have did a lot more better than this. And I think, yeah, I understand exactly what Turkey is trying to do. I do. I get what he's trying to do. But I don't think that this shouldn't be that kind of thing, bro. Unless it's a money thing and you just gave these two all of the bread. Nah, bro. I think you should have made this a little bit more. This is a historic thing. It is historic. You could have made this an historic card. Why are we shortchanging all the damn time one good main event card? I mean, fight. Like, we could have did it just a bit better. We could have did David Benavidez versus Anthony Yard or Callum Smith. You got you talk to Eddie, who got Callum Smith. You talk to Frank Warren. Well, I don't think Frank still got Yard. I don't think he got Yard no more. But still, like, we could have put David on this card. We could have took Bivol and Beterbiev's a trilogy fight. Put that on the card. Bivol and Beterbiev trilogy. David versus Yard or Callum Smith. Those 3 fights on the same card would have been beautiful, bruh. Storylines all over the place with that damn card. All over the place. Will David fight the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev? Will David get Canelo if Canelo wins? David can run up in the ring right then and there and press him out right there. Like, dog, it could have just went. So these are the ways you got to start thinking when you putting this thing together. Storylines that lead to the next cards. Not just, one-off fights on their own. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dog, that's it. Like, you want things to lead into the next thing. That's how you keep it going. So putting these youngsters on the card, bro, that to me, I don't want to say they gonna stink up the card, but it puts a bit of a damper. This is not that kind of card. I mean, it's just not. Even if you're gonna put younger talent on there, you gotta at least get some recognizable folks. Like, people are not gonna. Dog, like the eyeballs that everyone is expecting to see this is going to show up around main event time. I just call it for what it is. But you could have had eyeballs on this from the beginning of this card to the end if you would have just propped it up a little bit. See, this is why, bro, say what y'all want, but this is why Don King is such a legend in the game. I mean, as far as for putting on cards. Because what he did is like, bro, they don't do it no more. I don't know if Turkey got a bad taste in his mouth because of the Fatal Fury card, the way it went, and he loaded up that card and it went south on him. I don't know if you feeling some kind of way about that. But, bro, the right way to promote this, you have to put matchups on that draw in other fan bases. You know what I'm saying? That would be great. So if you did want to go young, cool. If you want to put Abdullah Mason on there for the youngsters, that would have been cool. You know what I'm saying? But you still should have attracted other fan bases with more known fighters. David, a storyline that continues on with the other fights. Canelo Alvarez, everyone wants to see Canelo versus David. Even in Crawford's case, win, lose, or draw. David would have been right there. Right there. I just think that would have just made a lot more sense. So, I mean, look, it's the man's money. He can do what he want to do. You know what I'm saying? At least we get in the fight, this one right here. But at the end of the day, I thought that he dropped the ball big time with this undercard. Talking about going young and new. Nah, bro, you was supposed to, man, you got access to the top. It's like, it's the same shit that make me smack my head up against a wall with PBC. You got access to all of this talent, bruh. Like, you could put on a much better card for this. We could do much better. Much better. You got access to Eddie. You got access to Frank. You got access to... You can make the promoters that can't stand each other work together. And we just like wasting that opportunity, bro. This is going to be a huge card. Or a huge matchup for that matter. But you got to, bro, the undercard matters. Y'all can't be experimenting with undercards on major cards like this, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to tell you, bro, when you could have had a lot of fans watching this from beginning to end, you're going to have a good amount of fans, I'm sure, watching the undercard, especially for those who pay for it, but majority going to pour in right before the main event. So I just thought that we could have done it a lot better, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot better. My main man, Muhammad Tola, says, yo, man, he got one for his fight fans. Y'all know how he does. Let's pull this one on down, man. Would you tie him out, bruh? Would you tie him out? Let me. He said, yo, man, choose one. You're a blues singer in the 20s. You're a member of Pharaoh's inner circle in ancient Egypt. Well, I don't know if it's going to top that one right there, bro. You're teleported 100 years from now, with no clue as to what to expect. Which one? Woo! I think I take number 2, bro. I take that Pharaoh inner circle in ancient Egypt, bro, because I'm so fascinated with that time period, man. That's probably why you put it up there, bro. I'm so fascinated by that time period, man. You know, the Egyptians, man, they mean so much to history, Joe. So much to history. And I want to know their truth. I want to know their truth, man. I want to know what really went down, you know what I'm saying, between the ancient Israelites and the Syrians, or the ancient Israelites and the Babylonians. You know what I'm saying? I want to know how did they allow Alexander the Great to conquer the world? I want to know all of the mysteries of how did they build the pyramids. I want to know all of the mysteries of how did they build those tunnels that go so far down in the ground, and they put the pharaohs down there. Like, how did they do all of that stuff back in the day? I want to know the truth. And there ain't a better civilization that's put right in a good part of history than ancient Egypt, bro. Than ancient Egypt, to tell everybody the truth. I want to know. Don't want to offend nobody, everybody. I want to know about the Serapis cult. How did y'all feel when they created Serapis? Man, who the hell is Serapis? Well, when the Egyptians were conquered by the Greeks, they've never had overlords that had white skin. And so when they had these overlords, these new Greek overlords, the Greeks couldn't control them. They wouldn't listen. And so what the Greeks decided to do was take their ancient deities that the Egyptians worshipped, and they took 2 of them and they combined them into one. Osiris being one of them, right? And they combined them into one, and you created a deity called Serapis. And Serapis, if you look up a picture of him, everybody, if you Google him, it looks exactly like the picture of Jesus Christ. And when he gave them Serapis, the people listened. They started to, through Serapis, of course. So the king, his name was Bartholomew. He was able to rule over the Egyptians because of Serapis. The same way that the Romans, learned this same trick and did the same thing. So if I was to go back to ancient Egypt, I would definitely want to know about the Serapis cult. The worshippers of Serapis, which lasted a very long time. And he was created for control purposes. So I would definitely want to know the secrets to that. And for those, everything I just said, everybody, you can go out into your own information corner and look it up for yourselves. It'll really blow you away. So definitely number 2, homie. Definitely number 2. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother, I love when you do that, man. That makes the show, man. I love that shit, bro. I love it, man. Salute to my main man, Muhammad Tola. Yes, sir. My man Pudangles is on deck. What's up, man? He said, and Billy is about to lose to Selecki. If he loses to Selecki, man, get him, pack him up and get him up out of here. Turkey, why you mentioning him? Why you mentioning him? You know what I'm saying? The one, I guess you might want to say the one good thing that Turkey is saying from this list is we're going to get Juntao Nakatani. I'm cool with, I like Nakatani. You know what I'm saying? So he's a champion. Having Nakatani on the undercard is cool. And preferably Abdullah Mason. You know what I mean? But rest of them cats, you can keep them, man. You know what I mean? And Turkey, that's one thing I got to give him, bro. If the people he like, he trying to make hot. Look at what he doing with Hamza Shiraz. He trying to get Hamza hot, man. He doing the best that he can to get Hamza hot. He keeping them in position, putting them on big cards. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those few fights that Canelo got over there with Turkey, that Hamza Shiraz don't end up landing one of them shits. Turkey is definitely looking out for his own people. You know what I mean? That's one thing I will definitely say. Say that, man. For sure. Canelo won't put David on his card because of his lip, says Pooh Dangles, man. Well, then look, if Canelo's so sensitive like that, then bro, then look, I don't know what to tell him. You know what I'm saying? Stop being so damn tender. Like Canelo Alvarez, Gennady Golovkin talked so much trash to Canelo Alvarez, yet Canelo Alvarez fought him 3 times. Juiced on him, but fought him 3 times. Canelo need to stop with the tendinitis. You know what I'm saying? Miss me with the tendinitis. Oh, David what is he talking so bad to me for? I even heard Canelo in a recent shoulder programming talking about something. Well, when me and Terrence Crawford doesn't have to talk bad to one another. No, we don't have to do that because everybody knows what great fighters we are. Hey, homie, stop trying to make boxing boring again. Stop trying to make boxing boring again, bro. Like, we are going to talk trash to your ass. You damn Skippy, we gonna talk trash to your ass, bruh. They always try to make boxing boring. No. Why? You don't want nobody to speak about some of the things that's going on with you? Why you don't want people to talk shit, Canelo? You don't want people to bring up clenbuterol no more. You don't want people to bring up the Mexican meat. You don't want people to bring up the fact that those Triple G fights looked a little shaky, baby. You don't want to bring up the fact that Arislandi Laura fight looked a little shaky, baby. Oh, yeah, you don't want nobody to talk ish. Because, we got ammo for days. You know what I'm saying? Ammo for days. So I totally get it. You don't want us to talk shit, bro. You don't want us to talk shit. But I tell you one thing. Unfortunately, Canelo, you might not want the fans, or should I say, you might want Bud to supposedly be respectful, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be. You might want that, bro. But I can tell you one thing. That everybody is not going to share that same sentiment. And I don't know if y'all heard recently with Oscar De La Hoya and what he's been over here talking about. Did y'all hear Oscar's latest rant? I think we're going to play it because these are the things that Canelo doesn't really want to talk about. He don't want people to talk trash. So we going to listen to it ain't us, Canelo. It ain't the fans that's going to talk trash and talk ish to you. You got to worry about Oscar. It ain't us. It's Oscar. Let's listen to what Oscar is talking about. And I think I might just agree with Oscar, fight fans. I think I might just agree. Talk to us, Oscar. What you talking about, bro?
All right, so it's been a month since my last clapback. And that's because there's very little news to clapback to. Because the boxing media isn't reporting on anything these days. I wonder why. Has anybody else noticed this? Well, I actually did some digging and confirmed many members of the boxing media have been paid off by certain people and essentially muzzled. I mean, these are the facts. For example, 6 of Eddie Reynoso's fighters have tested positive for PEDs. The latest being Jaime Munguia 2 weeks ago. 6 fighters and nobody is questioning this? This doesn't seem suspicious or out of the ordinary to you? We just accept the explanation that everyone is eating tainted meat? Come on. Jesus Christ. Doesn't this warrant an investigation of Eddie's camps?
I'm gonna stop right there for just a second, fight fans. It's very ironic that Oscar is saying this. I definitely will agree with what Oscar is talking about. That's first and foremost. Maybe these are the things that Canelo don't want people to talk ish about. But my thing is that what Oscar is saying is 100% right. The boxing media allowed that story to pop up and then poof, pow, be gone with minimal pressure and minimal effort. It's gone. But meanwhile, we can slam Keyshawn over and over and over and over again. I'm even seeing certain people talking about, oh, there's going to be an investigation into what Keyshawn did. We can sit out here and slam Keyshawn, make our soapboxes and the whole 9 yards, but the Canelo situation and the Reynoso situation lasted for like 24 to 48 hours. There was no boxing print up on it. Boxing Scene, Boxing 24, none of these joints. World Boxing News, none of them. I ain't see anything. Maybe some crap opinion piece, you know what I'm saying? But nothing in depth. No follow-ups. No one has got Reynoso on camera. No one is asking Canelo about nothing. But we got all of the smoke. I saw 1,000 articles flying in less than 60 seconds when Keyshawn Davis did what he did. See, this is the problem with boxing right here. We got our priorities jacked. We worry about popularity over legacy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we want to drag Keyshawn through the mud for something that happens every other card. Teams get into it all the time, but yet investigations got to happen. Lawsuits got to fly. We got to do video after video, article after article. It was a big effing deal. It was the most viral thing in boxing this week. The most viral thing. And I'm sitting like dog, talk about overreacting. Okay, great. We disappointed. He was unprofessional. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Let him take his lumps. He took his lumps. He lost $1 million, so he took his lumps. But at the end of the day, where did this go? Where is the Reynoso investigation? 6 damn fighters come out of his gym dirty, and ABC ain't got nothing to say. WBC ain't got nothing to say. PBC ain't got nothing to say. DEFG ain't got nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ain't got nothing to say about Reynoso. But Oscar, salute to Oscar. But when Keyshawn did what he did, boy, y'all brought fire and brimstone to Keyshawn Davis. So, Oscar, I'm with you, bro. We got our priorities in boxing jacked up.
I mean, look, I've known Jaime for over 10 years, and he always tested clean up until his last camp with Eddie and his fight in Riyadh. How is it ethical that you have 6 fighters testing dirty from the same camp and we don't have questions or consequences? Where's the boxing media? I mean, they crucified Ryan Garcia every fucking day.
Hold on, before he goes into his Ryan Garcia stuff. You know, the man is 100% right. And you know what the wild part about this is that this could perhaps be one of the biggest scandals in boxing history, perhaps. One of the biggest in boxing history, involving one of the biggest names. But nothing to see here. Nothing to see here from the boxing media. Like, Are y'all all a bunch of lackeys, man? Are y'all all a bunch of freaking lapdogs? Are y'all so afraid to piss off your overlords? Bought and paid for. Nobody bought better than I. Scared to lose access. Oh no, I'm not. I got a business to think about. No, man, you out of your mind. You can do all the videos you want. I got to get access to Canelo. Then we ain't got a real media. We got a bought and paid for media. Because Lord knows when y'all get next to Canelo, these are the kind of questions y'all ask. Oh, so Canelo, who hit you the hardest? Canelo, what fight do you remember the most that you did not have to work as hard as you thought that you were going to work? Canelo, what is your shoe size? We sitting here on the other side of the camera like, anybody going to say the word clenbuterol? We sitting here on the other side of the camera like, is anybody going to mention Eddie Reynoso? Y'all asking the man about who hit him the hardest when we trying to figure out what the hell is coming through the vents in his gym. It makes no sense, fight fans. It makes no sense. So what Oscar is saying is 100% right. In boxing media, I get it. You bought and paid for, man. It's a damn shame. Y'all let this story slip through the cracks. Y'all think it's just going to disappear. They think Crawford got a fan base, and we're going to keep reminding folks all the way up into September the 13th. Lord knows. Because this here, fight fans, needs an investigation. I think I side with Oscar De La Hoya on this. What else you got for us, Oscar?
Day for a full year over a tiny bit of Austrian? So why are they so quiet now? Ryan, are we? I don't know, man, but when something stinks, it's usually shit. I'm so disappointed, man, in the media.
Well, yeah, that may all be true. But if you mean they just jumped on Ryan Garcia for a little bit of Austrian. No. We don't try to get this spotlight away from Ryan. Like, use this as a way to, you came down heavy on Ryan. They should have came down heavy on Ryan. Make no mistake about it. It's a damn shame that they came down perhaps heavier on Ryan than they did on Canelo because he only got 6 months. But then again, Ryan, he doubled down. He drinking, smoking, doing all. He didn't give a damn about the whole thing. So maybe, But dog, what Ryan did, Ryan is one of the worst examples to use. As, they came down on Ryan. The same way that they came down on Ryan, they should have came down on everybody with the same exact vitriol, including Ginger over here. But not even so much as Ginger, his time has came and went. It's more so about Reynoso right about now. So what's up with Reynoso? Is anybody going to sit him down and ask him a few questions? What's going to happen when we get to the press conference? Because word on the curb is that these two got their first press conference going down June 22nd, fight fans. June 22nd is the first press conference between Crawford and Spence. So that's good stuff. Matter of fact, yeah, we can put that on up right here. This is the very first press conference going down between Crawford and Spence, fight fans. So that's good stuff. Sorry. There we go. That's good stuff, man. It's going down right here. It's in New York. Oh shit! On June 22nd, up in New York, brother Mike got to get on the road, man. The Javits Center. So this is the first press conference between Canelo and Crawford Sunday on a Sunday. Turkey, come on, Turkey, man. On a Sunday, for real. You put in their press conference on a Sunday. Is my eyes deceiving me, fight fans? On a Sunday. Man, come on, man. Turkey, brother, you got to get you some better people, man. You got to get you some better people, my brother. I salute your efforts, man, and I think you're going to get better with time. I do. But, homie, no, man. Turkey, you doing a press conference on a Sunday, bro. Nah, man. Sunday is not the day, man. That's football, basketball, playoffs and shit going on. Man, come on, bro. On a Sunday and at 1:30 when people are still in church. People just getting out of church, bro. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me, fight fans. These boys can definitely use a little bit of help. God damn. You know what I'm saying? On a Sunday, homie. On a Sunday. So I guess, man. I guess. I guess. But yeah, man. So once again, man. But Oscar, I'm with you, bro. I'm with Oscar De La Hoya on all of this. And yeah, there should be more done into this. Something should be done. Someone should look into Eddie Reynoso. Yes, Oscar is right. You could say, well, man, Oscar is just hating because he on the other side of Canelo and so on and so forth. You can come up with your crap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know Oscar's biased and he got his biasness. And I also noticed that Oscar kind of talked around the fact that, Jaime Munguia was dirty, but wasn't you like his co-promoter? You know what I'm saying? Co-promoter, though, but the promoter and the trainer is two different roles. Promoters taking care of the business while the trainer's in the gym with the fighter. So, of course, it still lands on Reynoso. But I think I'm with Oscar there, man. I'm with Oscar. And more should have been done. And the boxing media terribly, terribly dropped the ball.
Who I've treated like gold for 30 years. I didn't realize you guys could be bought that easily. Now, what the media is reporting, and it's circulating, is that Canelo Crawford is the biggest fight of the decade. I mean, to a purist and a fighter, it's laughable. Because you have Crawford jumping up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo, who's a natural light heavyweight. Crawford, who couldn't push back Madrimov. Life and death with Madrimov.
Now, Oscar, see, now your ass then took a bad damn turn. Oscar, you as a fighter should know better than anybody. When you get into the ring with somebody doing all of this stutter stepping, upper body movement, zigging and zagging, not staying put, young, strong, new weight class, what you expecting for Bud to just run right through him? That ain't who Canelo is, bro. Everybody keep running around with this fake ass Madrimov comparison. Oh, look how he didn't get Madrimov out of there. Canelo don't do what Madrimov does. Madrimov and that jank doing all of this extra jazz and all of this shit, you know what I'm saying? Looking like one of the Three Stooges. And that's not what Canelo does. That's not what Canelo does. So Terrence Crawford finally takes his time and say, you know what? I ain't gonna sit there and tussle with this kid. I'm gonna figure him out. I'm just gonna outbox him. I'm gonna beat him another way. And he wrong. Bro, I didn't see Bud Crawford, or no one else for that matter, saw Bud Crawford struggling with Madrimov, as y'all keep making it. Struggling. That's a big word, struggling. What I saw was a Bud Crawford that decided to fight in a more reserved way because this kid is doing way too much in here. Funny, your guy Virgil Ortiz for the sick version. Madrimov had the heebie-jeebies. The heebie-jeebies ready to get in there with Virgil Ortiz. Had to be pulled out of a fight last minute, short notice. Remember that part. So, of course, Virgil had an easier opponent in front of him. He didn't have the version that Bud had to fight, the one that had a belt around his waist, the one that was supposedly fearless and ready to test himself against the best, great health, ready to go the whole 9 yards. He just got in there and for the first 4 or 5 rounds was afraid to run up on Bud Crawford. So what you had was a cautious Madrimov in the early rounds who did not run up on Bud Crawford at all like he did a lot of his other opponents. And then he started to get a bit more trickier down the stretch. And so Bud said, I'm going to take him down. I'm going to back off you and let you come towards me. It was strategic. And Oscar should know that. But you right now, you just starting to you trying to go down Haterville, Oscar, man. But I get it, man. I get it, bro. And it's, there's so many, and keep in mind, everybody, y'all must understand, there's a lot of jealous entities around this. Turkey didn't choose Oscar to promote this. If Oscar would have gotten chosen to promote this, he would have been jumping over the freaking moon right now in high heels. jumping over the moon in high heels, Oscar and shit. He would have been happy go lucky, happy go Oscar right now if he would have had the chance to promote this. But Turkey didn't choose you, now did he? Matter of fact, you ain't got nothing to do with this and ain't even gonna have a fight on it. So yeah, it sounds good that you could talk trash now because you ain't got shit to do with this. You a sideline salty hater. And it's cool, bro. Nothing wrong with being a sideline salty hater.
What do you think Canelo's going to do to him? Run him out of the ring. You know what's laughable also?
When the last time Canelo ran anybody out the ring? When the last time he ran somebody out the ring? He didn't run John Wright out the ring. When the last time he ran somebody out the ring? Caleb Plant, how many years ago was that? Bad comparison.
Dana White being named the promoter of this fight, considering he's never been in the boxing space, has no stable of boxers. He didn't negotiate shit. And is being handed this fight on a silver platter and called promoter. He's the trust fund baby of boxing. That's it.
There it is right there, fight fans. That's what Oscar got the problem with. I forgot him and Dana White don't get along. Him and Dana White never got along, right? They done hung each other out to dry publicly over and over again. So, Oscar, I'm trying to figure out now, are you feeling some kind of way about this now because Dana's promoting it and you ain't? Maybe that's what it is. He says that Dana has never done boxing, which I will agree with Oscar. He doesn't know what he's doing, which I would agree with Oscar. That's why at the top of the show, we talked about how Dana White has no control and decision-making over this. What Dana is here for is his network, the access to the UFC fighters. Fans, the promotion to the UFC side. You know what I'm saying? Everyone wants access to the UFC. Amazon want them. ESPN want them. Turkey want them. Everybody want the UFC. Hell, Netflix would like to have them. Everybody. So Dana has value here. See, Oscar, you wasn't chosen because you right now have no value. You could talk from the sidelines and wish that you was involved in all of the big conversations, but now that Ryan done bit the damn dust, brother, you ain't part of no conversations. Where the hell is Schofield? Is he still fighting Farmer? Because I ain't seen no promotion on that shit, bro. Where the hell is Schofield? So, Oscar, you looking really salty. You mad that Dana got the access. He just there in name only, but he has value because of his promotional network, if you will. You, on the other hand, well, you ain't got shit.
The trust fund baby of boxing. And get this, the fight will take place during the day on September 13th in Las Vegas. During the day. So Canelo will fight during the day on Netflix just to accommodate UFC Noche later that evening on a different network.
Now, I didn't know that, fight fans. Woo! Oh, hater Oscar then let a mean nugget out right there. I did not know that part. The fight happening in the daytime so they can make room for the UFC that night. Oh. Is that the reason why we getting Sunday press conferences and shit, fight fans? Oh, Oscar, you might be a hater, but you just let a major nugget out. I ain't cool with that, fight fans. Like Turkey, come on, man. All of this bowing down for the UFC. See, this is what all of this is about, fight fan. All of this bowing down for the UFC. Between Turkey and Amazon, I don't know which one is worse right now. I don't know what you got Amazon looking to get out of business possibly with PBC. But yet and still, you want to maybe send them packing for TKO, and you don't really want TKO, but you just want UFC. And you know you can't get UFC without taking TKO. Like, this is all becoming like some straight up BS. So you mean to tell me you willing to mess with the time slot with this monumental historic matchup for them? Oh, hell nah, fight fans. Hell nah. Don't be bending over for no UFC, man. See, now, boxing fans are not going to understand that. Don't be messing up the time slots. We can't see it at the time that we comfortable and used to seeing it. We can't see pay-per-views on the time, press conferences on the time that we used to seeing it because you trying to make too many accommodations for UFC. So let's hope that's not the case. Oh, hater Oscar done let a mean nugget out, fight fans. It's going to be hard to juggle that shit. It's going to be hard to juggle all of those balls. How you going to juggle we got to make sure the UFC is straight. Oh, no, then we got to make sure that the boxing is straight. Well, are you fighting at this time? Okay, if you fighting at that time, then we got to make sure that we don't do this because y'all the A-side. So, stop all of that, bruh. Now, if you want to promote to the UFC, that's one thing. But to be moving things around because we got to cater to the UFC for this is bigger than anything that the UFC got to do, in my opinion. Y'all may say, well, man, nah, the UFC got this person and they got that person. Hey, listen here. The next day, what's going to make it on SportsCenter, what's going to make it into all of the different conversations around the world is this. That's how boxing works. When boxing does make something monumental, it reaches far deeper than UFC can ever reach. This sport is 20 times older than UFC, in my opinion. So that's just how I see it, you know what I mean? So I wish they stopped their accommodating, man. Damn, Oscar, I did not even know that. And Lord knows I do not want to see no Crawford and Canelo in the daytime. I want to be drunk. I want to be fat and happy and drunk and ready to go and be a caveman. I can't do that shit at no damn 12 o'clock in the afternoon, bro. So I hope that they change that, man. I hope that doesn't stick, you know what I'm saying? I want to stop and give a major salute to my main man, Donald Banks, out there, man, in the super chat. Brother, what's up with you, Donald, man? And much love, bro. Much love, and thanks for that love right there, man. I really much appreciate that, man. He says, yo, Oscar can't say nothing about Crawford moving up because last I checked, Mosley moved up from 35 to 47 and beat Oscar twice, but he forgot about that. Big facts. Big facts. The man's hatred is blinding himself. You know what I'm saying? He don't know what he's saying, bro. He's so full of hatred. You know what I'm saying? But that is very, very, very true. He got whooped by a smaller man 2 times. 2 times. And clean. So you damn skippy, bro. Oscar should be he should have remembered that ass whooping. How you forget an ass whooping that you took twice? Oscar should have remembered that ass whooping. That's why I'm looking at Oscar like, bro, I thought you were a boxing mind. Like, you should know what you see far as skills. Skills pay the bills. And what do you see in Bud Crawford? Did you see Madrimov hurt Bud Crawford? Now, if you would have came with an argument, oh, he hurt Bud so many times, Bud can't take punches from bigger men, then that would have maybe something to look at. But to say that Bud struggled with Madrimov, that is so far from the truth, it ain't even funny. That's just bogus crap. That's what Bud's haters and critics say. You know what I'm saying? So we all know that not to be true, man. So for Oscar to go there, it's like, bro, you really, really, really is being a freaking hater, man. Hey, salute to my man Donald Banks, man. Salute, bro.
So does that mean this fight isn't important? Do they not give a fuck about the fans or viewership? Why is it that Canelo has to fight during the day on Mexican Independence Weekend? And UFC with a roster of names I've never heard of is going on prime time. Cinco de Mayo. He's fighting in Riyadh, and now he's fighting during the day on the biggest weekend in boxing. Yeah, Canelo will fight anywhere, anytime he's told, because he doesn't give a fuck. All he cares is about the money. Doesn't give a fuck about the fans, about tradition, the Mexican weekend tradition.
So hold up, what was all of that jazz that Canelo was kicking up in the interview when they was talking about moving this from Las Vegas to another city? Was it not Canelo? Oh, no. We're having it in Vegas. We're having it. No, we're not done yet. No. I want the fans to see the fight. I want my fans to be able to travel to the fight. Now, Oscar's trying to make it like Canelo is not for the people. But Canelo says the reason that they're going to have to do this in Vegas is because of the people. So is it about the people, or is it not about the people, fight fans? Riddle me that. Oscar's making it like it's just a money grab. But I gotta admit, bro, like if they put this on at some weird time until, like he just said, to make room for a bunch of UFC fighters that we don't even freaking know, and they go on in prime time, that's just terrible, bro. Like that's just terrible. And see, these are the type of things that you're gonna deal with when you're dealing with Turkey, who don't care about viewership and who's in the building, how many tickets are sold. When those things are not a factor in the fight, like you get shit like this. He don't care about how strong the undercard is. He don't care about what time. Remember, originally this fight was on a Friday. He don't care about what day it's on and what time of the day. All of that stuff don't matter to him. All he cares about is actually having the event. Like just creating the mark. It seems like, but bro, you got to do it right. Freaking press conferences on a Sunday afternoon at 1:30. Like, come on, Turkey, bro. You need some better minds around you, bro. Better minds, man. Better minds, man. So I hope what Oscar is telling us, fight fans, is not true, bro. I just hope it ain't true. I did not know these details originally, Mo. Bad, bro. The fight in the afternoon? Hey, fight fans, nah, say it ain't so, bro. Say it ain't so.
Oh, and Dana. What, now you're turning your back on the UFC? I mean, we all know you've been trying to get into boxing for years on your own and you couldn't do it. Remember Zuffa? Oh, but now that Daddy Turkey negotiated a big fight and he paid for it, you're seriously proud to be the trust fund kid presenting to be the face of this fight. I mean, this whole thing's a shit show. Aren't you embarrassed?
Wow. Bro, I'm going to be honest with y'all, bro. Y'all know we've been hyped for this fight. And there has been nobody up until this point who, for me, has been any sort of halfway successful at all of pulling any cold water on this at all. Everything that people have been trying to pull on is just, this thing is so hot, it's just been evaporating the second it hit it. But this, like, wow. Is this the reason they've been keeping so many details under wrap? Well, Oscar's letting them all out because Lord knows Turkey didn't let this out. The ring didn't let this out. We didn't know nothing about no afternoon fights. We didn't know anything about no UFC going on in prime time. Like what? Hey, listen, only thing I can say is plead to Turkey and the ring folks is say, listen, don't do it. It's going to be, I don't want to say it's not going to be a disaster. People are still going to figure out a way to still, want to see the fight. But bro, you are hurting the efforts of the fight if you put this joint on in the afternoon. If I were y'all need to reschedule that press conference. Sunday at 1:30 in the afternoon on the East Coast. Well, do y'all want people to see it or not? I get it. Y'all don't care about that, but come on, bro. For those of us who want to see this and we have certain traditions in the sport of boxing, like y'all just can't piss on that shit, bro. Like, nah, man, you dropping the ball heavy if you put this fight on in the afternoon. That would be a terrible decision. And ain't nobody going to be okay with it because you trying to accommodate the UFC. So I hope Oscar is lying, bro. I really hope Oscar is lying. Muhammad told us there's a fight like this during the day, they drop the ball big time. Big facts, bro. Big facts. Floyd is the only one that kept his business hours on Cinco de Mayo and Mexican Independence Day. Hey, this is supposed to be the Canelo days. How does Canelo allow the UFC to rough him off like this? You mean to tell me that Canelo is going to say, oh, forget the whole independent? Like, everybody know if it's a holiday weekend, especially for the Mexican people, everybody going to be celebrating that night. I couldn't think of a better event for if you celebrating a holiday on that night than this. But, bro, if you take that away and put it in the daytime, bro, it's just going to be like, it's just not going to be what you think. It's not going to be a historic night. We've never in boxing said, oh, this has been a historic day for a fight. Like, it's been a historic night. It got to be at night, bro. I don't know, fight fans. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just too much of a traditionalist, man. I don't want to keep harping on this, man. This shit is starting to become like, damn, bro, I didn't even know that.
I mean, it would be just like me promoting John Jones versus somebody else in the UFC. You guys would fucking destroy me for me walking into another sport and acting like I know the fuck I'm doing. I mean, insiders are aware that UFC's hundreds of millions of dollars in debt and in a bad spot. But that's no reason to switch sports and leave these MMA fighters hanging, Dana. And don't abandon the fans. They've been begging you for months now to make a...
Hold on, I gotta stop him for a second. See, this is showing too much hate. You can't hate on both sides, bro. You can't hate on what's going on the boxing side and then also hate what's going on the UFC side. Like, which side are you hating on the most? But now it's like when you hating on everything and everyone involved like this, bro, it just makes it look like salty. It's just giving off salty energy. Like real salty ass energy, bro. Like, so who's right in it? No one's right in all of this but you, huh, Oscar, who ain't got nothing to do with this. You're accusing Dana of abandoning the UFC, yet on one hand, but on the other hand, you're saying that, oh, they're pushing the Crawford and Canelo fight to the daytime to accommodate the UFC. So it looks like Dana is looking out for the UFC. So which one is it? This is what happens when you hate. You start confusing yourself. One minute you saying that Turkey is wrong for accommodating the UFC. Then the next minute Dana is wrong for walking out on the UFC by doing boxing. Brother, you can't hate on every damn body. You need a fighter, bro. That's what the hell you need. You need a fighter. Anybody seen Virgil? Lord knows your ass need a fighter.
A great fight in the UFC. Oh, and don't even think of bringing your pathetic pay scale to boxing, because these fighters won't go for it. The boxing media is trying so hard to hype up TKO, getting into the boxing space. But the truth is, they have no fucking fighters. They have 0 fighters. TKO? More like TK no. Oh, and guess what? Nobody will ever put a muzzle on me. I'll always give you the facts and keep it real. And I've never been happier to trade calls with Eddie Hearn and Al Heyman, because guess what? We ain't going anywhere.
All right, fight fans, that's the end of Oscar's rant right there, man. Oscar is super duper salty, bro. I don't care what nobody say, bro. He is some truth probably into what he's saying. I ain't gonna deny that, and we're gonna see in these coming days. Hopefully, Turkey Al-Sheikh address some of these allegations, or somebody from the ring address some of these allegations and clear this up. Because if y'all have been trying to keep it under wraps that y'all gonna put this fight on in the daytime, and you ain't trying to tell nobody, because we don't know about no venue. We don't know about no venue. We don't know about no time. We just got a date and a city and a network. But if you trying to sneaky and put this on in the middle of the day, bro, shame on you. I know Canelo. Well, then again, Canelo's probably bought and paid for $150 million. He's gonna say yeah to whatever at this point. That would be atrocious in my opinion. And you will honestly hurt the efforts of this card. Bad enough that you don't want to commit to a stronger undercard, but also you want to commit to a time slot that boxing fans in America, we don't look for fights at that time of the day. On that time of the day of a Saturday, we out handling errands, we out ripping and running. We've been working all week. We got bills and shit. We got kids to deal with. We got different little things to get out of the way so we can see the fight that night. That's the way it happens. So I hope, fight fans, I hope, Lord knows. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my main man, Bruce Gas, boxing, jazz, and more, man. He says, yo, man, I come from the time of wide world of sports and CBS Saturday afternoon boxing, but a fight of this size, even in the 80s, is nighttime prime boxing. Everyone knows that, bro. This is just one of them. This is almost fight party fight gathering. You know what I'm saying? Like this is in that lane. This is in that lane. So it's like, bro, how do you take it out of that lane? I honestly would never. I wouldn't. Just doesn't make any sort of sense. They will hurt the efforts of this fight if they did that. And I get it. Given the fight is going to be free for Netflix subscribers, so maybe they're not, tripped. It's not about maybe selling pay-per-views with them. And see, this is what I keep saying. When these things don't matter, see, we're used to traditional promoters where these things matter. The time of day you put the fight on, the price you charge for the fight, the day you put on the fight. Like, these things matter to the everyday promoter who has something to lose in this matter. But the turkey who don't got much to lose, he ain't really losing anything, right? He ain't even playing with his own bread. So he ain't got nothing to lose. It's like, nah. And then we all know that his mission is different. It's like, and I don't care how y'all feel. We went on about the Fatal Fury card. He didn't give a damn about nobody being able to attend that fight in the middle of Times Square. That's what he it's like almost like he's like a kid in a candy store. He got all of this. He playing with other people's money. He's just like having fun with it, type shit. Like, oh, you know what? Let's put a fight on the back of a cruise ship. We're gonna do a cruise ship, right? And we're gonna put it in the middle of Antarctica, so all of the ice caps and shit can be in the background. And then we're gonna put a boxing ring in the middle of the ship. And yeah. And the only person that's gonna be on the ship is just the person that's driving the ship. Ain't nobody, just the two fighters in the ship and the captain. And the ice glaciers in the back. Like, he experimenting and shit. And homie, you might be having fun, but don't take our fun. You know what I'm saying? I salute, and once again, I respect what he's trying to do. And I get it. Boxing does need new ideas, but this one is not a good idea, bro. We do need new ideas. New ideas, not bad ideas. There's a difference. And this is a bad idea to put this on in the middle of the afternoon. It's a bad idea to do a crap undercard too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nah, man. I heard that Netflix is coming out with a media package. I'm not sure about that. I know that, what we reported on last week is that Amazon was looking to buy a media package from TKO. That we do know. You know what I'm saying? Netflix ain't got nothing to do with that particular deal. Amazon and TKO, they're working out a deal. This is why PBC is under heavy threat. That's why PBC is definitely under heavy threat. The question is going to be, when it comes to Amazon, is do they got the appetite to have two boxing outfits over there? You know what I mean? Man, ain't no way that this fight is happening during the day. In Vegas, of all places, the casinos wouldn't allow it because the post-fight action at the tables happens at night. Facts. Unless they not, I ain't gonna say they're not using it in the casino. Maybe they're using the stadium or something. I know Allegiant Stadium is said to not be happening unless they do it somewhere like that. Oh man, don't they got a football game or something at Allegiant Stadium? Maybe that's why this joint is going on so early. Oh, they might still insisting on Allegiant Stadium. And given that they had a what kind of game that they had? Football game. They had a football game. So maybe that has something to do with it. By them still insisting on going to Allegiant Stadium. Because remember, they were going to move it from Allegiant Stadium because they couldn't get it on that Saturday when they won it. So more than likely, they're still insisting on going to Allegiant Stadium and just trying to work out some sort of schedule around the football game. That's the only thing that makes sense. It's the reason why they will be putting this on early in the daytime. And that, to me, is still crap. If you can't get it on at night, damn Allegiant Stadium, bruh. Why does that got to be the end-all, be-all? Hell, Canelo Alvarez always fights in the T-Mobile Arena. We could have just put the T-Mobile on. So if it comes down to that, if it's going to be a thing about the time slots are off because of the football game, bro, find a new building. Find a new building. Man, I hope they don't blow this, fight fans. They better not blow this. So Oscar really dropped some jewels in his rant. And he's going to give a lot of boxing fans some things to think about and talk about. You can believe it, fight fans. So let's keep it pushing, man. I got to keep it pushing. We done spent over an hour already on this particular one right here. And speaking of Turkey Al Sheikh, Turkey also came out with this, fight fans. Did y'all see this? Did y'all see this right here from Turkey Al Sheikh? Let me get this out the way real quick. So yeah, did y'all see this right here from Turkey Al Sheikh? Turkey Al Sheikh took out the socials. I think this was like a day or so ago, and he is basically rallying against runners. Turkey Al Sheikh do not want to have anything to do with runners. He is basically putting a no running decree out to all fighters who want to be on his card. According to Turkey Al Sheikh, and he says, and I quote, "From this point on, I don't want to see any more Tom and Jerry type boxing matches where one fighter is running around the ring and the other is chasing him. We can longer support these kind of fights with Riyadh season." I guess he's saying we can no longer support these fights with Riyadh season and the ring. We want to support fighters who leave it all in the ring and fight with their heart and pride. Boxing glove emojis. Now, I know a lot of people, I don't know how y'all felt about this, fight fans. I went through a couple different thought processes when I first originally saw this. The first thing I thought to myself, I said, well, you know, he is the one that's overpaying fighters. And he is the one that's putting on these shows and bringing streets together and so on and so forth. So if he's the guy that's going to overpay everybody, maybe he wants his product to be good. That was my original thought. But then I started thinking a lot more about this. And I said to myself, nah, something don't sound right here. See, this is something different also. See, some fans may be cool with what he said here. But I also recall a lot of promoters, from especially guys like Eddie Hearn, and guys like Oscar, you know what I'm saying? I recall these folks telling the fighters you worry about fighting and you let me worry about the promoting. I've heard promoters say that many, many a times. And my question is, does that same rule apply when it comes to the fighter? If a fighter has a certain identity as a fighter, this is how he fights. This is how he trains. This is how he came through the amateurs. This is how him and coach worked over and tirelessly over and over and over again on this kind of game plan to have this type of identity as a fighter. If I'm a counter puncher, if I'm a boxer puncher, if I'm a mobile boxer, you know what I mean? Whatever I am is who I am. So you telling me I got to change who I am in order to get on your shows? If that's the case, I think that's a little wrong. That's a little wrong. You can't, listen, I want action-packed fights. But you can't ask a fighter to lose their identity. We can't look at a Devin Haney and say, well, man, I don't like what Devin Haney does. He needs to engage more. Why? So he can get his bell rung? Because he can't fight that kind of fight. He ain't going to go in the trenches and do a rock'em sock'em robot fight. Why? Because he fuck around going to get clipped and get stopped. He ain't a big puncher. Shakur Stevenson, well, man, I don't like what Shakur does. And blah. Well, listen, what Shakur does got him a multiple division champion and became a multi-millionaire. So he might got bad hands one fight. He can't commit as much. So what? He can't join your shows? I'm not with that. I'm not with changing the identity of fighters. It's if they are mobile, then guess what? It's that other fighters, they got to figure that out. They got to figure that out. Now, what Turkey needs to do is, once again, have a bit more foresight into this and say, well, if I know that said fighter fights this way, then I should have never invited him. When you go back to that Fatal Fury card, how else was you expecting for Devin Haney to fight? When we go to the William Skull and Canelo fight, how else were you expecting William Skull to fight? You wanted those fights. And so you got what you paid for, bro. You got mobile, moving fighters. You may not like it and what it did for your show or whatever, but that's we always knew who these were as fighters. We knew that's who Devin Haney was. We knew that's who William Skull was. We knew that Ryan was a joke, but you put him in the main event. See, Turkey, you got to start taking your lumps sometimes, brother. You get it wrong. And it ain't nothing wrong with being wrong, especially when you learning as you go. But brother, you did that. Don't blame a fighter who's been fighting the way that they've been fighting for 10 years or so, and then want to come around and say, oh, that fight is so wrong and it's so terrible. No, brother, you had no insight. You just heard names and you ran with it. That's what that's about. Take your accountability on this one. Your matchmaking. You put Ryan Garcia in a main event after being inactive for over a year. You got to take that responsibility, champ. You put Devin Haney in a fight with Ramirez after being inactive for a year and coming off of a traumatizing event. What did you expect? And now you got William Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson coming up. Well, what you think you're going to see in that fight? You're going to have the mobile fighter versus the aggressive fighter. Something that we've seen over and over. You don't like the Tom and Jerry type matches? Well, guess what, brother? If you threw 10 matches in a night, 5 of them to 6 of them going to be Tom and Jerry kind of fights. It's a common thing in the sport of boxing. So I'm not with changing the identity of a fighter, because when a fighter does that, they become uncharacteristic and they end up getting knocked out, losing, and then they're going to have to turn around and say, well, I tried to please the fans and do what y'all asked me to do. Meanwhile, the fans going to walk out the door on them. Ain't nobody going to pick them up. Oh, no, you got knocked out. You damaged goods now. I can't mess with you. It's something about you I just don't like no more. You know what I'm saying? That's how people, boxing fans are fickle, very fickle. And so soon as a fighter becomes uncharacteristic, get knocked out, the fan base walked out, turkey out, she goes the other way. And then people going to be looking crazy. Or should that fighter continue to do what got them to the point of where they got to? So I'm not feeling this right here. If you don't want no running, do better matchmaking. You're going to have to take your accountability on this. You put these matches together. Like Eddie Hearn said, the buck stops with you. You make all of the decisions. So you can't be the guy. It's just like what we always say, like we doing with Reynoso. Oh, well, yeah, Mainman, it could have been some random coach in the gym, who put something in some water or something like that. So how are we blaming Reynoso? Because the buck stops with Reynoso. You get a presidential administration. They hire a bunch of people that work in the administration, right? Unelected officials, elected officials, all kinds of different people in different layers. But if something goes wrong in that administration, who gets the blame? It ain't said official from over here. It's whoever is on the top of that administration. That's just the way it works. And it ain't no different with you, homie. You want to come out with statements like this and try to put this on the fighters when you have to take some accountability for your matchmaking and not having no foresight to look and say, well, I am putting fighters who have been inactive. I am putting fighters on there that's coming off of injuries and traumatizing events and so on and so forth. Not to mention, you're using other people's fighters. So you don't even know, you know what I'm saying? You don't be having a lot of insight with a lot of this shit. And they just see the money. Not to mention, that's another thing before I move on. I'm so glad I thought about this. You keep announcing fights. You keep announcing the next fight that they got before they even taking care of the fight that's in front of them. So if they know they got that big bag waiting for them in the next fight, how do you think that they're going to fight? That's all on you, Mo. You running around here, well, yeah, I got this fight lined up for you, that fight lined up for you. Look at Teo. Teo can't get right now because y'all done told him one thing. He was expecting something to come to his way, even though it's still no excuse for Teo. But still, he can't get right now because he was told one thing, and now they trying to do other things. It's called deal with it on a fight-by-fight basis, bro. So you telling fighters what's lying ahead, and you wonder why they popping up short, and they giving the kind of performances that they giving, playing it safe, if you will, because they want the next fight that you promised them. So they can get the money tonight, tippity tap dance through a fight, and then guess what? Get the money on the back on the next fight because you done already promised it to them. So Turkey, once again, homie, take your accountability, take your lumps. You did this. Don't be blaming the fighters. They are who they are, who we've known them to be for years now. You know what I'm saying? All day. That's why you need to come to YouTube and get your talent, bro. Real spill. We the ones got this shit locked in, man. We know what's cracking. You know what I'm saying? We really, really do. You know what I mean? Man, Turkey should take you as his advisor, pay you $5 million a year, and give you an Arabian horse for real, for real. Hey, I take that, bro. Me and Turkey have boxing popping, bro. Somebody like me on this team, man, you will have the insights, all of the insights that you need. We already know what kind of matchups we getting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, you need to reach out here to the folks that actually do it. That's the thing when people got a lot of money and shit, they think that their money equivalent is make them more superior up here to everyone, when that's not the case, dog. Some people have certain expertises in certain areas. You need to get more involved with the boots on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, man. Real talk. Reynoso's fighters then popped up in different states. That's a RICO case, man. Would you like to prosecute this case? Hey, big facts. We got trafficking RICO going all around the place, man. We worried about Diddy. We need to be worried about Reynoso. Big facts, bro. Y'all worried about freaked out Diddy. We need to be worried about Reynoso before he hurt somebody, man. Real talk, man. So, yeah, man, that's all I got to say about that in Turkey and his statement. This is one last view of it for those who didn't get the whole viewpoint of it. But that's what Turkey has to say about people who want to attend his future shows. No cat and mouse, no Tom and Jerry, no running, fight fans. So we'll see what kind of, maybe he just need to get a bunch of left-footed, rock'em sock'em robot Mexicans. There you go, bro. There you go. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Let's keep it pushing, man. I want to stop right here and say, congratulations. Congratulations to Abdullah Mason, fight fans. We got to give major credit to Abdullah Mason for one, getting through Nakathila the way he got through Nakathila a couple weeks ago or a week or so ago. Got the job done, took the main event slot, looked good doing it, you know what I'm saying? Showed up and showed the hell out, man. Salute to Abdullah Mason, man. And so that performance was good enough to get Abdullah Mason a title shot, fight fans, which is good stuff, man. WBO has now came out giving Abdullah Mason and what's this guy's name? Sam Noakes, not familiar. I'll do my homework. But Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes for the WBO 135-pound championship, fight fans. And it looks like it is going down. So congratulations to Abdullah Mason to get his first title shot. Ryan Garcia, eat your heart out. Virgil Ortiz, eat your heart out. Two of Oscar's fighters who've never touched a belt. Eat your heart out while young Abdullah Mason is getting a belt before y'all are. Salute, man. You know, that's what Bob does. Bob got those connections with the WBO, and that's what Bob do, man. He brings his young talent through, and when it's time to make them blossom, he always got the juice. And I ain't talking the Reynoso juice, but he always got the juice to get those doors open for his fighters, man, especially when it comes to the WBO. So it looks as if, man, while the whole world is coming down on Keyshawn Davis, I'm going to need y'all to back up off Keyshawn, too. That's right, Lennox. I got your message, darling. I'm going to need y'all to back up off of Keyshawn. You know what I'm saying? Because, listen, it looks like to me, like while the whole world is dumping on Keyshawn and saying how bad of a person that he is for having a squabble with somebody in the back of a fucking dressing room or whatever, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the one thing that Keyshawn also said leading up into this fight also rang true. And according to Keyshawn, him and Abdullah Mason had a conversation off of camera stating that the plan that Top Rank had for them was for Keyshawn to fight De Los Santos, after the fight vacate the belt and move to 140. And so Abdullah knew that a fight between him and Keyshawn was not going to happen. That's why Keyshawn showed out the way he did at the presser to try to see if he can convince Bob to try to want to do it, to kick up enough dust over it. But Keyshawn knew he was on his way to 40, and so did Abdullah Mason. The fight was never real. Even if you listen to Bob Arum during the interviews during that time, Bob was like, this kid doesn't have enough experience yet. Abdullah Mason. The fight was never real. And I'm starting to believe more and more that whole moment was just to help Abdullah Mason. And behind the scenes, I think they laughing out at all our asses. I think Bob is saying job well done. Because talk about a hell of a baton pass to somebody and give them some spotlight before their time comes. That little dust up with Keyshawn Davis and Abdullah Mason has been the best thing for Abdullah Mason's career, as far as, what's the word? Clout-wise, I guess you might want to say, than anything he's ever did. Keyshawn gave him a really good launching pad with the dust that he kicked up over it, and I'm starting to believe that it was done intentionally. I know a lot of us is never in on those conversations. A lot of us are looking at the situation like, oh, he ripping and he's running and he's ran. He just did that. That's taking low-hanging fruit. Look at the whole thing in its totality. This kid is going into a title shot immediately. This was always the plan. If Keyshawn would have won, he would have vacated and moved up, and we still wouldn't have got the fight regardless. So salute to Abdullah Mason, man. You know what I'm saying? His train is definitely pulling into the station, and we're gonna see how far that this kid got to go, man. If he can get his hands on the belt at 135, things are going to get very, very interesting for Abdullah Mason. Let me just take a quick glance, real quick, fight fans. Take a quick glance at 135, man. Let's see what we're working with up here, man. Let's see, especially in the WBO, is there any matchups that we probably looking into that for Abdullah Mason that may, something that we looking forward to? So let's take a glance over here real quick. Is it this one? I always get my buttons mixed up. All right, no, it's not that one. It's this one. All right, here we go. All right, so yeah, man. It looks as if that Abdullah Mason now, let's see what kind of smoke he got over here with the WBO. We'll be taking a look over here in the WBO. So Sam Nokies, whatever, he's number 1. Abdullah Mason is number 2. Once again, they got 20 days to come up with an agreement, or else the fight will go to purse bid. So these two will be fighting for this vacant WBO. If Abdullah gets through Sam Nokies, I guess the next best fight in that sanctioning body would Barinchek, fight fans. Andy Cruz is coming. Andy's fighting this weekend, right? But Andy's going in this direction. Andy's rated top in 2 sanctioning bodies. Andy's also pushing up on Tank Davis. So I don't think that he's looking towards Abdullah, at least not right now. Maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Andy's looking to push up towards a title shot, and he's way down in the WBO at number 9. So my guess is if Abdullah wins, maybe Barinchek. That's the only, as far as name recognition goes. I like Gabriel Flores Jr., but not heavy name recognition with those. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they still. I don't know if Abdullah's to the point where even if he wins a belt, that he's up for unifications. I don't think that we're there yet. You know what I'm saying? But I will say, if Abdullah wins that belt, and Shakur starts to look his way, after he gets done with Williams Zepeda, and Shakur starts to look his way, I don't want to hear nobody talking about something the kid ain't ready. Once you get a belt, look, bro, all of that protection goes out the window for me. Oh, he ain't ready and all of this. Nah, he got to be ready, especially when ain't nothing going on in his sanctioning body. We're going to start talking a little different about young Abdullah. We're going to start talking about him like a champion, which means the conversations get a bit more harsher. And on top of that, more is required of you. You can't keep running around fighting these Sam Nokies and Christopher Mofos and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you get your hands on this belt, bro, yeah, fights with Shakur Stevenson are on the table. I don't want to hear nothing about no, he ain't ready. Fights with Raymond Muratalla or maybe even an Andy Cruz if Andy gets there. Yeah, all on the table, bro. All on the table. All on the table. I don't want to hear no more protection, everybody. Will he have a chance of landing, say, a Tank Davis fight? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Even though Top Rank and PBC may be working together real soon, no, his name is just not on that level, and we all know it. But I think his best bet is to stick around in the WBO, maybe a Barinchek once again, and maybe a Gabriel Flores, you know what I'm saying, if he sticks around in the WBO. But if not, then we need to be talking about maybe a unification with possibly Shakur Stevenson. And I don't see anything wrong with that, fight fans. Or a unification with the IBF. If Raymond Mortala still has it, or if Andy Cruz is pushing up to it, however it go. Makes sense to me. But once again, congratulations to Abdullah Mason for getting his first world title shot. Let's hope that the kid continues to show up and show out. I think he is extremely talented, a really, really good fighter. Everything that I've seen from him thus far has been solid. You know what I'm saying? I know he had a couple little obstacles through, in some recent fights, but that's all fighters. That's nothing new under the sun. The fact that is he's learned from them, seemingly getting better and better with each passing fight. Got a good head on his shoulder, clean cut type of kid. Not no little hoodlum, little thug type dude. Not no little Javante Davis, you know what I'm saying? But seemed to be a more of a clean cut kind of kid. And, Abdullah Mason, guys like Shushu Carrington, he's Devin Haney. They're more of the clean cut kinds, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's good to see, man. Good head on his shoulders. Let's see how far that young Abdullah Mason is going to take this, man. So congratulations, bro. Hopefully they reach that deal. They got 20 days. So hopefully they reach that deal and everything works out to be all right. You know what I mean? In the meantime, Tank is still turkey free. Yeah, exactly. You know what? I'm shocked that Turkey ain't still. I'm sure he is behind the scenes, still trying to make a lot of inroads to get Tank Davis. That's the last stone that he ain't overturned yet. He got Bud, he got Canelo. You know what I'm saying? Hell, Floyd is even over there like, Turkey. Do you see me? You see me? You know what I'm saying? But has still yet to be successful in cracking the Tank code. You know what I mean? Will Tank hold out long enough to get the same type of deal that Canelo got? With Canelo held out, and now his next fight, he making $150 million. Real spill. You know what I'm saying? So we all gonna wait and see. You know what I mean? Hey, salute to my man D-Ray live on the drive. Omaha's in a building. What's up, Mo? What's up? He say great content, man. Thanks, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here doing my best, man. Out here, old man still hanging in there, brother. You know what I mean? And I'm always gonna be here, man. I've been feeling real motivated as of late, and I got a feeling it has a lot to do with a lot of the rest and relaxation that I got, man. I seen my bro up in here earlier, man. Let me scroll back some. DGO, where you at? There he is, DGO, man. We always got to get a DGO comment on here, man. My main man DGO at, man. Benavidez once no part of the Saudi smoke. The bum is protected under the PBC. Protected boxing. I can't say that last word, but I got you, bruh. Man, look here, man. Hey, look. Hey, I can't say that. Benavidez publicly has made pleas to Turkey, bro. Publicly took to social media begging Turkey to intervene. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, man, that's not him wanting to get from under PBC. I mean, stay next to PBC. I just think that now he might be trying to stay next to PBC, and we went through that last week. Why? Because they ain't got no stars, and Turkey got all of the damn stars. So once again, Benavidez may be more appreciated right now with PBC as opposed to the Turkey Al-Sheikh way of my way or the highway. You know what I mean? Maybe he feels like I got more of a voice over here. I can actually chime into what I want and don't want. With Turkey is I present it to you, either take it or leave it. And you know what? That type of attitude can rub some people the wrong way, bro. But honestly, Turkey should have smoothed a little better with David to get David on this card on September the 13th, man. But David probably ain't going to want to fight no damn daytime fights, man. You know what I'm saying? I hope that shit ain't true, bro. I hope it ain't true, fight fans. I really, really do. Really, really do, man. So with that being said, man, salute to Abdullah Mason, man. Last thing, fight fans, and we're going to get ready to get on up out of here, man. And this is the last thing, and y'all just seen I just recently dropped a video about this, Jaron Boots Ennis. It looked like the decision is now made for Boots Ennis, where he's going to be heading to 154 pounds. My mistake, fight fans. I forgot to upload some audio that I thought I had uploaded, but I guess I didn't. I forgot. I wanted y'all to hear what Eddie Hearn had to say about, why they moving on up. I got it on my phone, so I'm going to have to play it this way, so it's not going to be as loud as some of the audio that we normally play. So I do want to play it on the show, and we'll listen to Eddie Hearn talk about this a little bit. I'll try to push it up to the mic instead of the way it can be a little bit more louder. So let's listen into Eddie Hearn as to the reason why Jaron Boots Ennis is moving up to 154 pounds. Let's listen in just a little bit, fight fans.
Unfortunately, after the Stanionis fight, he had his team around him, the doctors, the tests, and what they're basically saying is Boots is underperforming to his capabilities. You saw him on Fight Week. It doesn't take a genius to see that it's hard work, right? And the amazing thing is he did that to Stanionis at 50% of his physical capabilities. And what he's saying is, and his team are saying, sooner or later, I'm not saying you're going to get a Keyshawn moment, but you could either underperform in the ring, have a nightmare weight cut, and it's just going to catch up with you. So it wasn't necessary. I loved the T.O. fight, and so did Boots. But it was like, can I perform to the best of my abilities at 147? And the answer is, I can probably perform good enough to win, but not to the best of my abilities. So when you see Boots at 154, you will see what I'm talking about. So it's very likely that those belts will become vacated. We're going to meet this week and make a final decision. But it's time to move to 54, and he's been unified at 47. Now it's time to try and become a 2-division world champion.
So that's what's up, man. That's what's up right there. So it looked like they are making that decision to head on up, fight fans, to 154 pounds for Jaron Boots Ennis. So this is going to leave a lot of openness at 147, man. So let's put it here on the screen real quick. Let's go back over to the boxing rankings and just take a quick peek at this. Go back on over here real quick. And let's take a quick peek at this real quick. There we go. Take a quick peek at this real quick, man. And so Jaron Ennis is leaving 147, unified champion, moving up to 154 pounds, leaving empty belts, fight fans, empty belts. So 147, you got to wonder who's going to make a run for that belt. If Jaron Ennis is going to vacate this WBA Super Championship, this is a very wanted belt. As we know that the WBA normally doesn't have a mandatory for roughly minimally 18 months. So a lot of fighters want that belt. And as we can see next in line, we got Rolly Romero, who just won the regular WBA belt from beating Ryan Garcia. I don't want to see Rolly. Then again, he might just be next in line. Damn, bro. So Rolly Romero might just get himself a title shot if Jaron Ennis vacates this belt. They probably order, say, a Rolly Romero versus Giasov, because Giasov was the Mando, right? Giasov was the Mando. They had to pay Giasov step-aside money 2 times for Jaron Ennis' last couple fights. So if that's the case, more than likely it's going to be Giasov versus Rolly Romero for this WBA Super Championship. That seems to be the play. That's the only play that would make sense. Devin Haney is right there. You do got to wonder would they order maybe Devin Haney versus Giasov. But if Rolly got that regular belt, bro, that pretty much makes him, I would think, next in line. But I could be wrong. Maybe the WBA got some funny type of language. You know, I remember they used to have all of them belts, and it was like crazy. Like, it wasn't quite the regular champion was next. It was, back then, it used to be like the silver champion was next or something crazy like that, you know, or the interim champion or whatever it was. So it looked like, yeah, we're going to probably get Rolly maybe versus, and this is an Eddie Hearn fighter, so Eddie Hearn is definitely going to keep his man right there. Rolly versus Giasov for the WBA Super Championship, fight fans. That sounds, bruh. And over here for the IBF, so if Boots get rid of this IBF, we got Lewis Crocker, who's already been stepped up to the #1 slot. So that normally signals that something has been worked out between Crocker and the IBF. They don't step nobody up to #1 or #2 unless something been worked out. So it looks as if there's a good chance that Crocker has already worked something with the IBF out because he's in the #1 spot. And who would be the next available guy? You gotta wonder. But I'm gonna tell you, fight fans, I am not begging for none of this shit. Rocha, Rodriguez, Karen. Oh, man. Oh, let's not forget about David Papat. Let's not forget about Papat. Fucking name is Papat, fight fans. Like, that's a crazy-ass name. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Don't look like nothing is going to be, man, 147 is going to really come to a crawl, bro, once Boots kind of leaves. All we left with is Devin Haney, of course, Brian Norman Jr., Mario Barrios, of course, you know what I'm saying, and Manny Pacquiao, now that Manny Pacquiao is there. Where's Pacquiao at? They didn't even update this ranking right here. Pacquiao is in these rankings now. But yeah, man, so it may 147 may take a hit unless Teo moves up. Maybe Teo moves up. Oh, that's 154. Sorry. Maybe Teo moves up to make the division still pop a little bit more. Maybe my main man Gary Antoine Russell's going to be moving up soon. Maybe he, you know. But yeah, that's about as good as it's going to get. Teo fuck around going to be moving up to Duck Keyshawn. Teo, y'all see Teo with the PBC hat on this week? Teo with a PBC hat on. He finds out Keyshawn Davis is moving up. Now he's trying to run the PBC. Talking about he trying to get on the tank in Lamont Roach card. Bro, PBC is not messing with you, bruh. You look retarded doing that, man. Straight up retarded, man. Goofy, bro. Goofy. But anyway, man, so yeah, it looked like, yeah, it's nothing to look forward to, bro. If once Jaron Ennis drops those belts, ain't nothing to really look forward to. You do wonder if Devin can make a run for that belt. But I honestly think that I think he'll make a run for that belt. If he don't got a belt by the time Rolly and Gearsoft play out, then maybe Devin will want to get the winner of Rolly and Gearsoft. I can definitely see that. You know, they've been pushing up on Rolly Romero. But I also think that Devin Haney would like to be in position for the winner of Mario Barrios and Manny Pacquiao. So that could be possible as well. So we'll see how things are going to play out. But yeah, once again, it's nothing that I'm super looking forward to now. Jaron Ennis is ducking those, dropping those belts. But I am looking forward to Boots moving up to 154. That's for damn sure, fight fans. That's for damn sure. Listen, I did the video and I caught it towards the tail end, you know what I'm saying, of the video. But I noticed that Keith Thurman being number 10 in the IBF, and I think that's good money, man. That's really good money. So if Jaron Ennis takes that IBF route, right, moves up from 47 to go to 54 and say, hey, I want to go the IBF route. Like I said in the video, Erickson Lubin and Bakram is already working on a deal, so they're already going to fight. So this title shot right here is going to have to wait for Boots if he want to make a run for the IBF. And on top of that, another thing, fight fans, it hit me after the video. I did the video, and I left a little note in the comment section. The IBF do not have the rule of if you are unified or whatever the case may be, that you instantly move up and challenge the champion. I forgot that we went through that with Bud Crawford. When Bud Crawford moved up from 40 to 47, he had all of the belts. They still would not allow him to instantly move up and challenge the champion. I remember that. That was a WBO rule. And that's a WBC thing, but the IBF they do not participate in that type of deal. And we all know why. In my opinion, it's mainly because number 1 and number 2 always has a for sale sign next to him. But you didn't hear that from me. But anyway, man, so yeah, man, he moves up though. If he goes the IBF route and he got to wait this situation out, then guess what, man? I told y'all in the video I'll take a Josh Kelly fight, you know, or a Conor Ben, you know, fight, but you know, that may not be the big thing. But what about Keith? Keith got nothing going on, bro. He waiting on Tim Tszyu, and Tim Tszyu are busy with Sebastian Fundora. So what you waiting on, Keith? And what if Tim Tszyu loses? Which I don't think he will. But what if he loses? So Keith, man, why don't you go ahead and take that Boots fight? And your price should have came down because your whole value, stock, and everything has came down. Matter of fact, there's a whole new generation of boxing fans, bruh. They don't value the same way that we used to value you. So you might got to take what you can get. And since you ain't really had a big money fight in a while, maybe that Boots Ennis fight don't look half bad. Top 10 fight in the IBF. A win over Keith Thurman should still grant Boots Ennis some sort of mandatory up here in the IBF to get the winner of Lubin and Bakram. I like it, man. I like it. Or, once again, if Jaron Ennis want to stick in the WBA route, given he's the WBA super champ. Now, the WBA may make some obliges for him, given that he's the super champ. They may say, yeah, you know what, we'll give you that shot against Tellez. Let me see if we got anything out here about this guy. Let me type his name in real quick. You know what? I can't do it because y'all watching the screen. So hold on. I'm going to do it on my little device right here. Stand by for 1 second, fight fans. As a matter of fact, hold on. I can do this with one hand. I'm just going to do a simple Google search with this guy. I should have just asked Sam. But I'm going to do a quick Google search with this Tellez guy to see if there's anything that I missed that he got going on. Let me just take a glance here, man. Let's see. Nope, they talking about his last win. His last fight was in March. That's what, yeah, he fought J-Rock. I remember that fight when he beat J-Rock. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, he fought on Tank. Yeah, he fought on Tank in Lamont's undercard against J-Rock. That was his last fight. Oh. So that means he basically rocking out there over there with PBC and them. So we don't got anything, though, for his next fight. Nah, so yeah, Telez's last fight was on Tank and Roach's undercard. And so he don't got nothing is being reported to be working on right now. So we just going to have to wait and see. So if I'm Boots Ennis, maybe moving up to get this dude out the way. And see if he can petition the WBA to move up and challenge the interim champion. And if he can beat this interim champion, well, guess what? He's next in line for this belt that turns Bud Crawford holds. And once again, to the Boots fans, that's all he would have to do is just wait it out. Because if Crawford win, loses, or draw against Canelo, he may come back down to 54 and defend that belt. So should Boots go after Telez if the WBA is going to allow it? Not to mention if he can get, if he beats Telez, which Telez seemed it was a decent fighter from what I remember from that J-Rock fight. But if he beats Telez, maybe he can lure Charlo out, which I doubt. I don't think Charlo would do it, but maybe he lures Charlo out. Especially if Bud vacates, right? Let's say he beats Telez and Bud decides, you know what, I'm going to hang it up and call it a career. Then maybe, if Jamil want to come back and get a run for that belt, then he will have to go and knock on Boots' door. Either way, it's Jaron Ennis putting himself in a damn good position if he could petition the WBA and wipe out Jonas Telez, where he is WBA super champ at 47. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Did I play all of that audio? Yeah, I did. I played the whole audio. During that same interview, Eddie Hearn stated that also that they had an offer for Virgil Ortiz. Virgil turned it down because he's not going to be ready in August. The fight was going to happen in August. It seems, if you ask me, I think that Oscar and Virgil, because you know how Oscar do, Oscar and Virgil is deciding to go another route and try to go after a belt first. The winner of Sebastian Fundora versus Tim Tszyu, they may be next in line. Unless, like I said in the video, unless the WBC grants Sebastian Fundora a voluntary defense and say, you know what, we'll let you do a voluntary, and they push Keith Thurman up through the rankings. Very possible. Just to avoid the whole Virgil Ortiz situation, because Sebastian Fundora does not seem to be very high on Virgil Ortiz. Well, Oscar, do you got the juice or don't you, bro? You talking all of that ish against Dana. You talking all of that ish against Eddie. Do you got the juice to open the door for your boy Virgil Ortiz? Yay or nay? But, once again, if Virgil can get the winner of this fight, of Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu, and let's say he does win, then he may can get to a title before Boots, which make a fight between him and Boots means that he gets the lion's share of the split because he'll be champion. So once again, if Virgil is going to go into a different way, and keep in mind, everybody, I believe that Boots' super fight is Virgil Ortiz. If Virgil is going to go down that route, then Boots need to be going down the route of getting a belt, whether it's taking out Telez or taking out somebody in the top of the IBF rankings, preferably a Keith or maybe even a Josh Kelly, to put yourself in a mandatory position to get the winner of Bakram and Erickson Lubin, which is not going to be an easy fight. They may look at that fight as a threat. The winner of this fight is a threat. I think his easier route will be go to the WBA. That's the easier route. This may be much more of a challenge because the winner, whether it be Lubin or Bakram, neither one of them are going to be easy opponents. And I think that you'll have an easier time with this boy Telez than you would with them. So that's a decision that the Boots and this team gonna have to make, man. They're gonna have to make that decision, and hopefully it all goes well. Virgil Ortiz continues to win, Boots Ennis continues to win, and then eventually we get that super fight between Boots and Virgil for some belts. I like that. I like that. Xander Zayas is going to be making a run pretty soon for that vacant title, so he's going to be a player if he wins. He's going to be a vicious player if he wins. To throw Xander Zayas into a conversation with Virgil Ortiz or a Jaron Boots Ennis, I like the direction of 154, man. I really, really do. And not to mention, I think Earl Spence is still somewhere around here, fight fans. He may still be around here. Not to mention, also, one thing I spoke about in the video, what about Jaron Ennis versus Madrimov? They may take that as a stay busy fight, reason being because it's a common opponent with either Terrence Crawford or Virgil Ortiz, right? So would not the Madrimov fight to pass some time make sense? The only thing is that beating Madrimov right now, it does not help his title shots. That's the only thing. Like, Madrimov is not even rated in the IBF at all on the far left over here. And in the WBA, if he beat a 5th rated Madrimov, I don't know if that's going to be good enough to get him a title shot. I mean, you got some PBC fighters lined up in here, and they all rock with the, WBA rocks with PBC, and we know that. So I don't know if Boots moves up and beat a Madrimov, what that would do for his title implications is something I don't know. But beating Tellez will put him right there. We may say, man, what about fights with Sergey Boachuk? It would mean nothing for Boots. It would mean nothing. Maybe beating Boachuk will put him next to Virgil, but it wouldn't really, it's not a belt. It's not a known fighter. It wouldn't do much for Boots at this point. It would be a good fight to watch, though. Boots and Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu is right now busy with Sebastian Fundora. Not to mention, he gets through Fundora, then he's going to either have to deal with Virgil Ortiz or maybe even Keith Thurman. So that's taking it up. So I think, once again, the best routes for Jaron Ennis, the best number one route is right here, man. Tellez, bro. Take out Tellez. Tellez just beat J-Rock. Not an easy fight. Tellez is definitely wanting to get that title shot. But Boots puts himself in position where after Tellez, something big has to come knocking. So how do y'all think that Boots Ennis is going to do at 154? Y'all think that Boots Ennis is going to be able to hold his own? Or y'all think that Boots Ennis is going to crash and burn? Riddle me that, fight fans. Riddle me that. You know what I'm saying? So we shall see, man. Salute to Jaron Ennis, though. He made his decision. He's not going to be fighting Teofimo Lopez. Bye-bye to that fight. Bye-bye to the Brian Norman fight. Bye-bye to the Mario Barrios fight. Bye-bye to those fights, fight fans. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And onwards and upwards for Jaron Boots Ennis. I'm not holding it against him that he's not fighting Teofimo Lopez. I'm not going to classify that as a duck. I think he mops the floor with Teo, but I also think that he's right to make this decision. We've talked about this over and over and over here on this channel when we talking boxing, and that is the boogeyman. And they are just basically getting out of the way of the boogeyman, and it's a smart decision because you do not want to find that out in the middle of a fight. So I think that Jaron Ennis is making the right decision to go to 54. Hopefully the power carries. The knockouts continue. The action-packed performances continue. Hopefully them knockouts don't come to a grinding halt. You know what I'm saying? Say what you want about Bud Crawford. It took for Bud to get up to his 4th divisions for the knockout to disappear. So hopefully Boots ain't just moving up one and the knockouts are going to disappear. I don't think they are. And I'm going to be betting on Jaron Boots Ennis at 154. I think that Jaron Ennis is going to make his way and make it to that Virgil Ortiz showdown, into a super fight fans. I think he's going to make it. You know what I'm saying? All day. Let's see if my thoughts is right. I think that Jaron Ennis could be the second coming of Bud. But 154 is going to tell me a hell of a lot. If he run into some hiccups at 154, I'm going to be a little bit like thrown off from that. But I'm expecting for Boots to go up there, take his skill set, take that stopping power. Hopefully up to 154, where he's been a 54-pounder in my book for quite some time now. Just fighting at 147. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm going to get ready to get on up out of here, fight fans. We're going to keep it real short tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to come on back tomorrow with another live stream, though. We'll be back tomorrow. DGO says, yo, man, Madrimov is all wrong for Boots. He will get exposed again for not knowing how to cut the ring off, man. Yeah, I hope not, man. I hope not. We're going to learn. We're going to find out. I don't think a lot of people's appetites are satisfied with Boots at 47. I like what I saw in the Stanley on this fight. I think it's a little foul how we thought that Stanley Onus was going to be the measure. He was the guy that everybody said that Boots had to prove. And when he does it and he passes with flying colors, Boots don't get no credit for it. No credit whatsoever. So I'm not going to do that to Jaron Ennis, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to definitely be watching for Boots to go up to 154 and become the new king. We going to see. I believe in him. I believe in him. Do I think that his team has some reservations about him and Bud Crawford? Sure. They not gonna say it publicly, but we all know that actions speak louder than words, and it's clear as day, bro. They maybe have felt as though he wasn't quite ready yet. Maybe he didn't have the experience yet. Whatever the case may be, boxing fans run around saying, "Oh, that's the fight that we wanted to see, Boots and Bud." Yeah, y'all might wanted to see it, but it's clearly his team didn't want to see it. So what does that tell you? You might want to see it, but Bozy didn't want to see it. You might want to see it, but I guarantee you the cats in Philly didn't want to see it. Because if they wanted to see it, they would have put rubber on the road, and y'all already know that. What up, Chastity? What's up, sis? Much love to the sister queen in our building. Chastity is on deck. Chillin'. She say, yo, people are rooting for Boots. They are rooting for Boots. Good. That's good. I hope so, man. He can be the next big star from American soil. We need all that we can get right now. Future is starting to look up now with guys like Boots and Abdullah Mason and Shoo Carrington and Shakur still young. You know what I mean? Gary Antoine Russell on the rise. The only thing that we need out here, fight fans, is some representation at heavyweight. And salute to the UK fans. I see y'all got that Moses Atiyama and Dillian White fight going down, man. That's good for young Moses, man. Young Moses coming along pretty good. I see him, getting better and better. A Dillian White fight is the right speed, the right type of fight for him at this point in his career. So yeah, that's good for him, man. But we definitely can use a lot more representation at the heavyweight division. And I feel like once we kind of get that type of representation, we're going to be good to go, fight fans. We're going to definitely be good to go. Chastity says, yo, man, that was wild. You was knocked out on the thumbnail. That was wild. You was knocked out on the thumbnail. What's that? Oh man, something I missed? Who was knocked out on the thumbnail? No, who? Boots? You can't be talking about Boots. Who got knocked out on the thumbnail, man? I must have missed something, Chastity. What you talking about? Let me know something, man. Let me know something. But I want to also say much love to the fam out there, man. We're going to get ready to hang this one on up once again, man. We're going to come on back sometime tomorrow. Thanks for everybody that rocked out with me tonight. We're going to come back sometime tomorrow and kick up a little dust. Put something on the screen and see what we can talk about, where the sport takes us. I didn't cover Richards and Hitchens versus George Kambosos. Damn it, I forgot. I knew I forgot somebody. Richards and Hitchens versus George Kambosos going down this weekend, man. I forgot all about this one, man. Damn, this is an actual fight that's actually happening in this weekend, right? I'm expecting for Richards and Hitchens to take this, everybody. I'm definitely expecting for Richards and Hitchens to take this. I know that him and George Kambosos got a lot of noise they making towards each other. I seen the teams getting into it with each other. The press conference was kind of dry, and to the little moments that they had or whatnot, that was kind of cool. But I got to tell you that the press conference was just a little bit dry for my liking. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like the most exciting part about it was when the teams had kicked up a little bit of dust. So that was, interesting to see, to say the least. But as far as the actual matchup, I mean, it's a cool matchup. It's just nothing that I'm just like pressing to see. I think it's just that type of thing. It's not a big George Kambosos fan, bro. I just think that he gets beat by any athletic fighter. George Kambosos clearly does not have the athletics, and we all know it. You know what I'm saying?
Here. We got 50 cash. Can we shake on it again?
Hold on for a second. No, we can't hear no audio with this. Hold on 1 second. Oh, yeah, the audio was on. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Audio was on. So let's listen to a little bit of what Richardson Hitchens was talking about, man. Oh, yeah, he tried to bet. He tried to bet the man.
We got 50 cash. Can we shake on it again? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's shake on
money
it.
on yourself.
If you
on your
believe
back.
you in yourself,
You better
you
get up
believe
and
you
fucking
can
fight,
fight.
bro.
Put your money on yourself, on your back.
I'm scared of that, bro. It's boxing, bro. I ain't scared of that. I'll been smacked.
Put your money on yourself, on your back.
Gotta put your money. Gotta put your money like I've already done.
Bet the fucking money, you pussy. Bet the fucking money, you pussy.
George can't buy.
All right, bro. All right. Cool. Yeah, so yeah, man, that's basically how they kind of went. They going back and forth about a bet or some jazz like that. I know the coaches had got into it. One coach got embarrassed because Kambosos' coach, the little strong dude over there that looked like Mario Brothers. I think he hit Kambosos' coach in the head with the microphone. You know what I'm saying? Doing one of the scuffles or whatnot. And so coach got mad and tried to pick up a chair and go after Kambosos' coach or father or whoever that is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I knew something like that went down. But Slim, if that coach would have hit George Kambosos or anybody for that matter with that chair, that would have been Richardson Hitchens's money flying out the window and lawsuits flying left and right. Coach, man, you gonna bring your fighter down doing goofy shit like that, bruh. Hey, bottle it up, man. This ain't about y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? This is about the fighters. I hate when coaches try to steal the spotlight like that, man. So this is going to be an interesting fight to see. You know that Richardson Hitchens is defending his IBF 135-pound championship. And this is going to be pretty much the last hurrah for George Kambosos, bro. This is like it. After this, I don't see who gives George Kambosos another shot. Honestly, this is a surprising opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Kambosos has been in there with the Devin Haney's of the world, Lomachenkos, Teofimos. Now lands himself a title shot with Richardson Hitchens, man. I guess it's always that way when you got a government that's willing to pay for fights. You know what I'm saying? You get one leg up. And so at the end of the day, I'm expecting for Richardson Hitchens to outbox George Kambosos. Just way too athletic. I think Kambosos is going to have a problem eating up the real estate. Just to have the athleticism muscle in his body. He's a decent technician as far as the technical things that Kambosos does, but his athleticism is always his downfall. He couldn't keep up with Devin's feet at all. He couldn't keep up with Lomachenko. And I think he's going to have troubles keeping up with Richardson Hitchens. Hitchens is going to keep him on the end of that jab all night long, jabbing, moving. That's all he pretty much got to do and force Kambosos to eat up the real estate and run in the shots. That should be the game plan. And I think that Richardson Hitchens should be able to execute that going down the stretch. The threat of a knockout and a stoppage, I don't think is that high for Richardson Hitchens here. So he'll probably look to maybe commit more against George Kambosos. Not to mention, Hitchens is fighting in his own backyard. So hopefully he's going to be looking to put on a show for his fellow New Yorkers. And it should be some good type fight right here. So hopefully he brings some noise and brings some pain. But even if he doesn't, I think he definitely has the ability to outbox George Kambosos. And when this is over, Kambosos, you might well hang it up, bruh. Now, if Kambosos, surprises the world, shocks the world, and wins this belt, Kambosos will give his career a second win. And then other big name fights will also fall in the lap of George Kambosos. So we will see, is this Kambosos' last hurrah, or will Richardson Hitchens go in there and make a statement? Let's all find out on this coming Saturday night, fight fans. Real spill. So we'll see how it all goes, man. We'll see how it all goes. That's the fight that's this weekend. I'll be probably checking for that. I can't say whether or not it's going to be a game time decision or whether or not I'm going to call that fight live, fight fans. So if we do, come on and rock out with the homie on fight night. Y'all will know far ahead of time. I'll send out a notification far ahead of time if we're going to cover this fight live. So with that being said, man, I'm out of here, fight fans, man. Y'all have a blessed night out there, man. Stay stressed and sucker free. Remember, these demons are everywhere. They want you sad, depressed, thinking that you are not more than a conqueror when you are that and then some. Divinity is in your blood, man. AI wants it, fight fans. Did y'all see my Boxing and Beyond episode this week? We talked about Timberland, the producer, looking to sign an AI artist, and also he's looking to start an AI music label, from what I understand as well. Things are getting, AI is invading more and more into our lives. Open your eyes, everybody. Open your eyes. So don't let them take your divinity, because they can make AI copy us, imitate us, learn from us, even surpass us in the thinking department. But they can never, ever, ever take our divinity. See, if that robot breaks down, it just breaks down. If we break down, we always figure out a way how to pick ourselves back up and find a way out of it. That's your divine nature. Don't let them take that away. My main man, JP Mendez, what's up, bro? It's tough out here, main man. California strong. Thank you for your service. The Constitution is the greatest words ever written. And that ain't nothing but big facts. Hey, JP Mendez, I did get your message about speaking on the issues in California for a Boxing and Beyond episode. I think I'm gonna do that, bro. It's just I don't know if a lot of people may like my take on it, but I think I am going to mention it in the upcoming Boxing and Beyond episode. And it's mainly because you asked me to do it, bro. And you already know, bro. Whenever you ask me to do something, I got you, bro. You've been rocking with the homie for so long. That's all you got to do is ask me one time. So I'll definitely be looking to speak about what's going on in Cali when it comes to this immigration situation. All right? I got you, bro. And much love. Y'all come on and rock out with the homie tomorrow, man. And I see y'all then. To the next video, fam bam. Peace out.
Hey, you got a real one in here now. You got a real one.